The second kind of linear programming that we're going to do is one where there are word problems. Now, I know you might think words, panic sets in. It's all right. We're going to figure this out. We'll do it together. So let's just see what we have. We are making and selling lotion. And it says if we're going to sell a quart of regular skin lotion, it's going to have 2 cups of oil and 1 cup of cocoa butter. But if you want the extra rich kind, you need 1 cup of oil, 2 cups of cocoa butter, and you're going to make a profit. So with the profit, you're going to make 10 quarts on regular lotion and a profit of $8 on the extra rich lotion. But you only have 24 cups of oil and 18 cups of butter. So we got to think about this. A good spot to start with the word problems is the profit function. So these parts here are kind of the final answer, the A and B. It has you write it in 2 parts. But a great start with the word problems is the profit function, your objective function. So with the profit, you've got to be thinking here. What are you getting profit on? You are getting a profit on the regular lotion as well as you are getting a profit on the extra skin lotion. So we got to think these are going to be our variables. These are going to be the X and Y that we are going to have in the profit function. So let's call the regular skin lotion 10X and the profit skin lotion 8Y. We got to split up X and Y, but if I'm going to make $10 for each one, 10's my number in front, my coefficient, and then I'm going to choose Y for extra skin. So all the money I get from selling the regular lotion, plus all the money I get from my extra skin or extra rich lotion, that becomes what my profit is going to be. So we know the profit function, we know X and Y. Our next job is to figure out what are the equations that I need to be writing. So our equations are going to need to contain X and Y as well. So we got to think. There's going to be something about the regular skin, something about the extra rich. So if I take a look at the regular skin, I made this my variable X, and I made extra rich lotion. I made that my variable Y. So now I've got to think, how can I write 2 different equations that are our constraints? So constraints, we think, what are things that we could have a limit on? Well, it told us here we are limiting ourselves to amounts of oil and amounts of butter. So that means we want to make an oil equation and a cocoa butter equation. Each of these will still have X and Y in it. So if I think about cocoa butter, there's 1 cup in the regular, 2 cups in the extra rich, and 18 that I have total. So if I have 1 type that's going in the cocoa butter, 1 cup of cocoa butter goes into regular skin, which we called X, and then I have 2 cups going into the type of lotion we called Y. What I know is that the total I have is 18. Now if I'm limited to it, that means it's the most I can use. I could use less than 18 and be fine. I could also equal and use up all 18 and still be good. Then I need to think about the oil. Could use 2 cups in the regular, 1 cup in the extra rich, 24 total. So same ideas here. I've got 2 going in my regular, which I represented with X, another going in the extra rich, which I represented with y, and I need to use less than or all 24 cups to still be good, that I could still produce those. So now I've got my constraints and my profit function. I have now done the extra step, the stuff that I need to do to now be able to do the same process we did without the words. So I'm going to graph these, but we don't have numbers here. So take a second, and I would like you to copy this down. We're going to be going up by twos, and that's okay. We just want to make sure that it fits. So now that I've got the graph set up, let's go ahead and put the equations on the graph. So taking a look at this, covering it up, 2x and 24 means I have an x-intercept of 12. Now covering up the x's, my y-intercept is going to be 24. Got to get out that straight edge. Again, make sure there's some kind of intersection that will be going on. Getting some nice grid marks. Same thing for this one. I'm going to cover it up. The y-intercept will be 9. So halfway between the 8 and the 10. But the intercept there will be 18 for the x. Now if I line it up, I see it crosses right here. Nice grid mark crossing. Now, remember less than means below. So my feasible region here needs to be below this line and below this line. So underneath this tells me that I need to be in this section of the graph. So now let's actually go and try to figure out what the vertices are. I'm trying to maximize. Outlining this region, 0, 0 is there as well. So my 4 vertices, 0, 0, 0, 9, 12, 0, and 10, 4 are the ones that I need to be thinking about. So I am going to plug these in. Plug in 0 for x, 0 for y. So I have this being 0, adding to this being 0. Once you multiply, it's 0. Plugging in 0 for x and 9 for y. 10 times 0 is 0. 8 times 9 is 72. Combining 0 and 72, I get 72. Plugging in 12 for x, 0 for y. This makes 120. This makes 0. So a grand total of 120. Then here, plugging in 10 for x, 4 for y. This is going to make 100. This makes 32, so 132 combined. It said my goal was to maximize, so I want the biggest one. I get that. So the maximum profit was $132. However, that's actually incorrect. This is 10 times 12, so that is actually 1,200. 10 times 10 is, no, hold on, I'm good. I'm confusing myself. 10 times 12 is 120. 120 plus 8 gets us to 100, 132, 132. So that's our maximum profit, biggest one. How many quarts of each got us there? Well, 10 for x. So 10 for what we represented x as, which is the um, 10 is the regular, and then 4 of the extra rich. Sorry for the slowness there and the confusion. I was looking at my answer key, which was wrong. So this is correct. We are good. That is how we do it with word problems. Let me know if you got questions.